Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to participate at the summit of the United Nations, which has just adopted the programmatic document Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, in this year, when the international community celebrates the 70th anniversary of the United Nations. The new agenda aims to eradicate poverty in all its forms and to achieve sustainable development in its three dimensions in a balanced and integrated manner. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets confirm the comprehensiveness of our agenda. The work ahead of us in the next 15 years will demonstrate that we, all the UN member states, are fully committed to the achievement of the ambitious and noble aspiration to free people from the scourge of poverty. It is our common duty to identify the proper solutions for that in a time when science and technology are fully fledged assets with an outstanding potential for the promotion of economic growth. We should be aware that the measures aiming at eradicating poverty are not only a moral commitment, but means for promoting international peace and security. International peace and security, major objectives of the United Nations, cannot be fully promoted without paying a special attention to development. We should approach the roots of conflict, among them poverty, lack of hope, despair, social exclusion. Poverty could lead to despair and frustration, which could be the seeds of extremism and violence. At the same time, peace and security, be it at international or national level, are major prerequisites for sustainable development. As we could see in the last month, hundreds of thousands of people fleeing war and searching for a better life have crossed into Europe, often by risky means. This ever-increasing influx of migrants from the Middle East and Africa has left the European countries struggling to cope with a growing humanitarian disaster. We are confronted with a complex crisis. There are humanitarian aspects, a border protection crisis, an integration crisis, and a financial crisis. If we do not find the most adequate means to address each of them, each wave of migration will be bigger than the previous one. Every nation has an obligation to rescue people, to support and protect them. Ladies and gentlemen, the new agenda goes far beyond the Millennium Development Goals, maintaining themes such as poverty eradication, education, health, and approaching new ones such as peaceful and inclusive societies. It has a universal character, keeps a balance among the economic, environmental, and social goals, addresses major means of implementation, and pleads in favor of a global partnership in its implementation. All countries should ensure that appropriate policies are in place for implementing the agenda. Countries should promote effective and inclusive institutions and create policies based on the rule of law, human rights, rights of women, gender equality, and empowerment of women. National ownership and accountability are of key importance for the implementation of this agenda, including through commitments as well as instruments such as sustainable development strategies. Each country has primary responsibility for its own development. We fully support the idea that the new agenda should be implemented by local institutions, responding directly to citizens' needs. Their needs, interests, and concerns must be clearly addressed when local and national development strategies are defined. In the case of Romania, we will revise our national strategy on sustainable development in order to integrate the new development goals. Social exclusion is identified as a major challenge to local sustainable development goals implementation. In the revised strategy, the emphasis will be on supporting the inclusion of disabled people, young people, and women in the development policies. Eradicating poverty requires decent employment opportunities, while social cohesion policies are needed to avoid and prevent social exclusion. We stand ready to participate in the process of reviewing and monitoring the implementation of the new agenda in order to share our experience with other member states and to learn about lessons and positive results in this process. I thank you.